Ending relationships. It's a hard thing to do probably 2 dates in. It's probably a harder thing to do 5 years into it. But I would argue that sometimes ending things after those first 2 dates can be even more challenging. And I'm going to explain why in today's video. Hey guys, my name is Philip and I'm finally back to making actual videos. Today we're going to talk about ending things early and why you should do it and maybe why times you shouldn't do it. Now for context, I'm not Mr. Dating Professional. I have made videos on this channel about dating before, but I'm not the one to be opining too much on it. So I'm really just sharing my own honest reflections about this and this topic, but it's more just from my own experience and what I've learned so far. And hopefully you guys find it valuable or not valuable, and maybe you're just gonna click off the video right now. That being said, let's just jump right into it. Anything is early, I would say, can be summed up in what I would say the what could have been factor. It's this idea that when you end things early and you're choosing to do so, and it can be for a variety of reasons. It could be because you're not compatible or you disagree on a certain thing. They're not available for you at that time and you're not available for them at that time. There's always going to be this thing in your mind that is the what could have been factor. It's the, well, if I were to play this out 4 more months or 6 more months, what we could be and how we could grow and how we can develop as a couple. Like, you're missing all of that when you end things early. And that can be a very challenging thing. It can feel like ending a contract early with someone that you saw a lot of potential, lots of value, but for whatever reason, you just had to cut things off. And you're always going to have that what this could have become thing going in your head. This is very hard, and I wrestle with this big time. I'm someone that gets invested very early on, and so whenever I have to break things off earlier with someone after a date or after 5 dates, whatever it might be, I always feel that, gosh, did I just let them go for no reason? And man, it could have been something really, really great, and I'm choosing actively myself to end that thing. That's why it's very, very hard, I think, early on to end things, because that's the first big part, is you always have that what could have been factor playing out in your head. And that's just the importance of keeping a wide net and casting a wide net when you're dating early on. Get too fixated on one person. You're only seeing the future in life with that one person. You're not seeing the other opportunities or avenues that you can go down. The second reason why I think ending things early is very hard, it's ripping the band-aid off. It really is that. The sudden detachment you feel from someone when you end things early is very, very harsh. It can be very surreal and feel very frustrating. I recall one time ending things after a couple dates with someone I really liked, and they liked me a lot, and we just didn't work out. This person was just not communicating very well. They were kind of flaky, and I had to end things and just kind of cut the cord, basically. And I will tell you, even though I chose to end things with that person, I always felt like it was just a mountain to climb emotionally. I woke up the day after breaking up with them and just didn't realize the fact that, wow, I just ended things. Like, it's done. I'm not gonna go text them. I'm not gonna go call them. Like, GG, like, it's over. And that's a very, very hard feeling, because it's so sudden and immediate that you kind of snap into this reality of, okay, they're no longer part of my life. And even though we had these amazing emotional experiences on our first couple of dates that may have gone really, really well, that's no more. Like, it's just gone. It's really like someone ripping out the carpet from under you, and that can be a very hard feeling. So that sudden attachment is something that I definitely realize more and more can be the biggest challenge and hurdle to overcome, because we're human. We get emotional. We get a little bit invested, and that's something that we all have to deal with when we end things early. Even if it's something that is casual and we have to end it, we're still going to feel that suddenness of, oh my gosh, it's done. And also, there are times where the other person's just not ready to hear that, and you have to deal with that too, and that can be a whole other challenge in itself. And I've been in both places. I've been someone that has had things cut off early by someone, and vice versa. So I've seen it both sides, and it's always that suddenness that affects someone, that affects me, when someone or yourself ends things early when it comes to dating. Last thing I'll say about this is that emotional investment, gotta monitor it, because honestly, I'm the person that gets in too deep. When I mentioned this person earlier in the video, I remember being really into them after like the first date. We went on the first date. It was a 4-hour date. We really vibed. We hung out a lot. We called a lot after that, texted a lot, and I would just get into this mode of, yep, I'm ready. Let's like get the wheels rolling. Let's start the engine. Let's get into a relationship. And when I had to end things because of that communication issue and flakiness, it was very hard for me, because I'm someone that tends to have that emotional peak early on, and someone who likes to get in deep very quickly. And I realized that's actually a very poor decision. I know, shocking. When it comes to dating, the first couple dates, you need to set yourself some guardrails. Set yourself a boundary. It might be only hanging out for an hour and a half to 2 hours. It might be no kissing on the first date. That way you're not overly investing emotionally. You're thinking about it wisely. I mean, picture your own money, right? When you invest your money in markets or your retirement portfolio, you're not just throwing cash in there heaps and bounds because you're excited about the economy. You're throwing money in there wisely, tactically, strategically to get a return on investment early on. No, I'm not saying dating is simply a transactional thing. I'm just saying that you need to be thoughtful in the same way you're thoughtful with money in your time and your energy. You need to be the same way in dating, and if you just go spend all your coins in the first go-round with someone or the first date or two dates and you get overly invested, you find yourself being very shell-shocked when things fall apart and when things crash and burn because you've just gone all in at the poker table and now you're having to figure out where to go from there. So those three things are sort of what I would say. That's the summary of it. It's really that what could have been factor, that sudden attachment, and that emotional investment. There are three things that in 2025 I like to work on in my dating life. It's monitoring those three things much better in dating. And that just comes down to intentionality. I said that word before on this channel with my dating apps video. I'll watch that for more context there, but I honestly would say that that is the biggest thing that I would say society has lost in 2025. Rise of apps, the rise of hookup culture. It's intentionality that goes by the wayside. And those three things when it comes to ending things early, those things all have to do with intentionality. If you lack intentionality, then something ending early on for whatever reason there may be hurts that much more because you both haven't quite gotten that on the same page and your intentionality begins to go lower and lower and lower. And other people around you when you date are going to have that as well. And it just begins to create a Mount Doom effect of you're just always going to be boiling in the hot lava of rejection, resentment, and bitterness. And yeah, that emotional sting that comes with ending things early. So that's why ending things early really hurts. But I think those are the three things that if you were to try and to reverse those things in your life, you'll see a lot better outcomes in my opinion with dating. That's not to say you'll find a girlfriend or boyfriend tomorrow. It's just to say that you're going to feel less of that effect. You'll be a lot more balanced and monitored and trusting in the process and less freaked out and worried about dating and things falling apart right away and who you're seeing. Yeah, that's all I have on this topic. I'm not going to go rant anymore on this. It's been a long time since I made a video, so I just felt like dust the rust off and get back into it. So if y'all want to see more, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I mean, this has been a really fun experience just doing YouTube, and to enter the new year, I resolved to make more long-form videos and not just short. So I'm hoping to try and get back on track. But let me know what y'all want to see in the comments below on this topic more, or share your thoughts down below on this if you've experienced this yourself. And yeah, that's all I really got for today. Thank you all for watching. As always, my name is Philip. See you next time. Peace.